Welcome. It's 2021, and you decided to join us today, and we're so thrilled that you're with us. There's a lot of reasons to applaud today, as you all know, that you're going to be applauding after you hear Dion speak today, and she is our guest speaker. Last year, we started our complimentary workshops when COVID hit, and this year, we're going to continue our monthly complimentary workshops as a way to provide community service to you because I'm so blessed that we are celebrating 25 years in business, serving our community and beyond globally because of you and many other people that are not able to be with us this morning. And so know that you are welcome to share our website and our virtual workshops with your colleagues. We have we have programs already lined up and packed content and really being able to engage people on these workshops. Now, what you need to know is that typically we do not record the sessions. It's like be present to win, right? Because we want you here. This time, though, it's a gift to you for being here with us. We are going to record this session. And my only request to you is that you share this gift so the gift keeps going. Because you are in for a treat today with Dion. And stay till the end because we have a very special surprise for you. Our whole team, we want to say thank you to Linda Farley, Vanessa Rodriguez. Thank you so much for continuing our production, our curriculum design, our PowerPoint slides, and all the dress rehearsals. Those of you who really do all these kind of virtual workshops know that it does take a village. And fortunately, we have a great village that has been with us for many, many years. So thank you again. The other part that we get to do that is so exciting is that we feature a nonprofit organization each time. And this year, our goal is to feature 25 nonprofit organizations. Today, thanks to Dion, who is our guest speaker, she suggested the Lemonade Circle. And I have had the pleasure of getting to know the CEO. And if you will chat it up in the chat room, anyone who is a part of the Lemonade Circle, please put your name into the chat. Let's see who the board members are. This organization started about in 2017. It is amazing how people come together at the time that we need them to come together. One of the things that I talked with Brandy about, who is the founder and CEO, and she is on this call, is what are your wishes? And she says, well, where do you want me to start? Do you want me to start with the big wish, the small wish, the medium wish? And I said, hey, go big or go home. Let's go for the big wish. And so that's what I want you to hear. Now, the word lemonade, it's an acronym. And if you think about making lemonade out of lemons, you've heard that saying. This is what their organization is doing. Because if you don't like something, then just don't complain about it. Let's do something about it. And let's do something about it where we're engaging others. So their big dream is to have 25 lemonade circles by 2025. And she's calling them chapters. Now, the other big wish is she needs some land. She needs some land to build the gardens, because one of the organizations that some of you might have heard of is Gardopia, and they teamed up together in this midst of COVID and brought the young ladies who are 5th graders through 12th graders to start building gardens. And they got out of their house, they were able to do social distancing, and they are learning fabulously. Everybody loved it. So their dream is to have major garden STEM education going on, along with having 25 chapters by the year 2025. So when I heard her dream of 25 and 25, I thought, How could that be? I'm celebrating 25 years in business. And I didn't know Brandy before Dion introduced us. So I want you to go to their website, hear more about it. Now, those are the big wishes. She does have the smaller wishes, and the smaller wish is it costs about $50 a young girl to put on all the programming. Everything's volunteer, no staff gets paid. The CEO, the chief operating officer, they do have a an amazing group of board members, and interestingly enough, one of my other favorite organizations out there that our vice president to be today happens to be a part of is called the Links organization. And they're going to look at what the possibilities are of teaming up with them as well. So lots of great initiatives are going on. And please give a rounding applause to all the people who have launched the Lemonade Circle, which we know there's many people on this call. So please do a shout out in the chat room. Raise your hand if you're on the board or volunteering. And thank you so much. Thank you so much. And Dolly, oh my gosh, how exciting. I just saw your note that I Empower is partnering with the Lemonade Circle as well. So congratulations to both of these great groups. So let's move on and hear about Dion. Well, what you need to know is Dion's entire family is on this workshop with us because you see, they support each other. And you talk about all kinds of great things. Her sister, Doctor, is on the call. She came back from China and couldn't go back. So she's doing a lot of remote work. And that is amazing. Her mother is a published author, children's book, and she has put the children's book in the chat room. Her father is a journalism professor and in charge of the newspaper at the University of Incarnate Word. So obviously we have a virtual family going on here, and her husband is behind the scenes taking care of their 5-year-old daughter who's on remote learning. So we are thrilled to have the village. What you also need to know about Dion is that she's been promoted 4 times since she's been at the University of Incarnate Word, and she is an IT guru. Now, IT guru, and now she's in student success with professional development. How do you accelerate your career from IT to the people soft of the world, right? Yet we need all of those skills together. She is known for being, one of the first things she was able to do at Incarnate Word is they invited her to actually launch the first online high school. That was in 2010. They're reviving that high school. Guess why? We have remote learning going on. And I will say that I've been connected with the University of Incarnate Word as well, of teaching in their ADCAP program, which I believe now is called Professional Development Studies, which Dion is responsible for in many different ways. So we're very excited about this wonderful opportunity that Dion is going to launch us with about really how to be great and greater in 2021. So Dion, take it away.
I was muted. I'm sorry. That's a great first impression, right? You start talking and you're muted. Hello, everyone, and good morning. It is my honor and privilege to be here with you today. I want to begin by first thanking Barbara Greene for the wonderful introduction and for the invitation to share with you all this morning. I cannot begin to tell you how much adoration I have for her and all that she does, including being the lead of such an amazing team who have been so gracious and so accommodating to me over the last few weeks. They have dealt with my, you know, borderline OCD, all of it. They have embraced me and helped me get to this point. Um, Last but certainly not least, I want to thank each and every one of you for attending today, for many reasons, but just because you have given me your time. Time is the most valuable thing that we possess. It is our most precious commodity. It is a non renewable resource, and you've decided to invest your time with me today. So I don't take that for granted, and I want to give you a great return on investment in this hour. I called it the power hour because it's my hope that that'll be what it is for you. It'll give you some energy. It'll give you some power to keep pushing and striving for greater. So I wanted to talk about my expectations about this session. I want you to consider this session as an experience, not a lecture, not a speech, not a one-way dialogue. So there are going to be moments that I request your participation. I also want you to be open to reflection, open to receiving what I often call the aha moment or the epiphany. I even have a blog called Epiphany because I feel like life is full of those moments of revelation, full of those moments where we learn something new. Um, it's that moment in which something may be said that really resonates with you. So, if you have one of those moments during this time together, it is my hope that you'll be willing to share that with us. It could be as simple as you type in aha or epiphany, or you can get as detailed as you want to get. But I want this to become a safe place. I want you to use that chat. And I want you to allow me to be me. Is that okay? Can I be myself today? All
Yes.
right. So let's do a quick check. Are you ready to start this experience? If so, I need you to type I'm ready in the chat right now. Let me see who was paying attention. Who's ready? Excellent. Excellent. So let's get started. We begin with this quote, and Lao Tzu was an ancient Chinese philosopher and a renowned author on philosophical Taoism. And years ago, I ran across this quote, and it really stuck with me. In fact, if you go to my LinkedIn profile, which I encourage you to do, I want everybody to request me as a connection. I will accept. It's one of the first things that you'll read in my bio. He said, a journey of 1,000 miles must begin with a single step. And I read it over and over again. And I want to share one of my aha moments about this quote with you. You can go to the next slide. What I realized is that life is a journey. It's not a single destination. And no matter where you are in that journey, there are moments in which we must make a decision to move beyond where we are at that very moment to strive for greater. Also, realizing that the many decisions that we make along the way, they not only impact us, but they impact those around us. And our decisions, the collection of them, they're either going to propel us forward or they're going to keep us stagnated. That still is a choice that you're going to have to make. And so a journey of 1,000 miles must begin with a single step. Are you ready to take a step? Are you ready to launch yourself in the year 2021? I hope your answer is yes, because mine is yes. You can go to the next slide. So, I want you to take a moment and reflect on your journey thus far. Where have you been? Where has your journey led you thus far? But more importantly, where do you want to go? What do you see yourself doing? What kind of impact do you want to make? I want you to type it in the chat right now. As you're thinking, whatever it is, type in the chat. Where do you want to go? What is it that you dream about? What is that longing in your heart? Even if your answer is I don't know yet, it's okay. Type it in the thread anyway, because everybody is in a different place. And I'll give you a minute to do that. Audrey, thank you for your honesty. I love it. This is incredible. I love it. I'm so glad you're here today. I'm so glad that you're here today. Thank you for your participation. So I have a question for you, and you can keep putting your chat your answers in the chat because I really want to know what you're thinking. What do you have packed in your suitcase? Now, if you looked at the invitation, I told you to bring your suitcase. But just in case you left it, I want you to think about what you have packed in your suitcase. In the time we have remaining, I want to provide you with a packing checklist. There are three essentials that we must carry with us on the journey, and these essentials will help us achieve the highest level of awareness, fulfillment, and impact along the way. You're going to need a mirror, you're going to need protective gear, and a measuring tape. And let's talk about each of these essentials one by one, shall we? So, let's talk about the mirror. It represents self discovery, self reflection, or self monitoring. I mean, do you see this trend here? We're talking about self. What do you know about you? What do you see when you look in the mirror? Do you focus on the flaws or the features? Do you focus on the differences or the uniqueness? Do you celebrate your strengths or do you bellyache over your weaknesses? I want to encourage you today to assess your strengths. You can go to the next slide. Can I share another aha moment with you? So, almost 3 years ago now, I was given access to a very popular and widely used assessment. And I heard that we have an assessment guru online, and she'll probably know exactly what I'm talking about once I keep talking. And its purpose is to assess a person's talents and give guidance on how to turn those talents into strengths. So after my top five strengths were revealed, my world was rocked. Like it was like an earthquake happened. And it wasn't because the results were so profound. It wasn't because it told me anything that I had not seen in myself at one time or another. It rocked me because I realized that in the time of my reflection that I was not operating fully in my strengths. I was allowing my weaknesses to drive my decisions instead of my strengths. I mean, is that not like a life altering level of awareness there? And so once that light bulb came on, I was never the same. And do you know what that's called? It's a heightened state of awareness. And I began to be confident in what I knew I could bring to the table. And I was no longer intimidated or easily swayed by anyone else, because I knew me, my strengths, my flaws, and all. I knew it. I took the time to reflect. And can I tell you that I have, that since that aha moment, I've been promoted twice? That, my friends, is the power of self discovery. You can move to the next slide. So I have a question for you. What is your why? Again, we're talking about self discovery. What is your why? I heard something a few years back that was so simple and so profound, and it was this, and I use it with my students all the time. If your why is not enough to make you cry, it is not strong enough. If you have a why that doesn't make you well up in tears when you think about it, it's not strong enough. It's not strong enough for the moments of adversity that you are guaranteed to face at some point or another. It is not strong enough for the surprise detours that you'll find along the way. It is not enough. It will not supply enough fuel for a successful launch. So, what is your driving force? What pulls on your heartstrings? I love that you're using the chat because that's exactly what I wanted. What what is your why? And the answer will be different for each and every one of you, but it is a must that you identify your why. So let me ask you something. How long has it been since you spent some time with you? Just a one on one with you. We must discover and embrace who we are. We are unique and we are wonderfully made. We are full of potential and promise and purpose, each and every one of us. So, this is what I want you to do. I want you to grab that mirror and I want you to put it in your suitcase. Next slide. So next we need protective gear. And I guess by now you've realized I am quite the visual person, right? I like to use metaphors. You see my background, life is a journey, the road ahead. I am very, very visual. I did that on purpose because if you don't remember anything I said, you ought to remember the items, okay? And then you can fill in the blanks. It's the teacher in me, so bear with me. The protective gear is a reminder to observe your surroundings. Next slide. So first, check the current climate. And when you talk about climate, you're talking about like the average condition. Like there may be times where you have really bad inclement weather. It could be a tornado or a hurricane, but it's the average. Like you still might have mostly sunny days. So your climate might just be a mild climate. You want to check the atmospheric pressure, the pressure exerted by the weight of the atmosphere that you're in. Does the atmosphere need to change? And if so, are you able, or are you even willing to change it? Check your environment. Is the environment, the land where you stand right now, conducive for growth, or is it likely to experience famine? Do you have things in place to protect you from the elements? I sound like a meteorologist, don't I? Again, I want to give you a visual. You got to check your surroundings. Are you prepared for those moments of inclement weather? Are you prepared for the moments of adversity? Is this a place in which where you are? Is it a place for growth, or will you stay where you are? And are you okay with staying where you are? These are important questions. I'm asking you a bunch of questions because I want to start. I want you to start thinking about where you are in the journey and where your next stop might be. So next slide. Next, I need you to pack your specs. But before you do, be sure you check the quality of your lenses. And so I'm not talking about the real lens. I'm talking about your perception, what you're able to see. So we're going to stop right here and we're going to do an activity get together. Let's go ahead and go to the next slide so I can explain the rules. So I want you to take no more than 45 seconds to look at this picture. And I want you to count the number of squares you see. And I want you to put your answer in the chat. That's it. Count the squares, put your answer in the chat. But once you put your answer in, you cannot change your mind. Go. I just saw somebody answer under my name, so that has to be my husband. I was like, I didn't put an answer in there. I know the answer. Does everybody have one in there? I think so. I think so. Now, can I ask you a question before I tell you the answer? Um, were we looking at the same picture?
Ah.
Because I see so many different answers. So I need somebody really brave who won't mind coming off mute, who is really confident in their answer that they are correct. I need you to tell me your strategy. How did you arrive at your number? I need one person to quickly come off of mute. You are so confident in your answer, you have to be right.
I'll do it.
Go ahead, Gail.
Okay, I just took the 4 blocks going across and then I did the rows and I times it by that. And that's how I came up with 16.
You came up with 16.
Mhm.
Okay. That's what you saw. That's what you counted.
Yes.
I need somebody else that is so confident in your answer that you know Gail is wrong. You have the right answer. Please tell me your strategy.
I'll go.
Okay.
So I saw the 16, then I looked at the outside. So the whole outside is another square.
Hmm.
Inside is another square. And you count the four together and it's another square and another square. And I just found, I put on there 24.
24. Okay. Okay. I heard somebody else speak. Let me get one more. Let me get one more. Because everybody's confident they have the right answer.
I'm not 100% certain it's the right
It's
answer.
okay. It's
I
okay.
got-
But thank you for your courage, Jennifer. Go ahead.
I got 30 because I counted any group that has an equal number of sides, whether it's on the top, the middle, the bottom, moving across. I came up with 30.
Well, Jennifer, of all the people on this thread, you should have been the most confident. You're absolutely right. The answer is 30. There is one large square. There are 16 small squares. There are 9 squares of 4, and there are 4 squares of 9. Was everybody on this thread wrong? No. You're not wrong because you saw what you saw. But now that I've told you the answer, now you're looking at the picture a little differently, right? Aren't you looking at how it's possible to get 30 out of the same picture? You just saw a number, another number. So let me help you with this. Well, first of all, you have the large square. You're absolutely right. That's one. And then you have the 16 small squares, right? Then you have 9 squares of 4. So if you took 4 squares together, they make 1 square, right? And then you overlap. And so you have 3, you have 3 at the top, 3 in the middle, 3 at the bottom, right? Because they overlap. I didn't tell you that you couldn't count squares that overlap. Then you have another additional 4 squares that overlap if you put 9 squares together, right? Again, you saw what you saw. Let's go to the next slide. Let's keep going. There's a reason why I did this. I want to go back to the lenses, and I like to call them corrective lenses, because what happened when you became aware of the answer? What happened to your ability to see? This is the power of awareness at work again, and it leads me into some more reflective questions that I want to ask you. What do you really see? Are you too narrow in scope? Are there self-imposed limitations that you put on yourself? I didn't tell you that you had to count the squares and they couldn't overlap or touch. I didn't tell you that. That was a self-imposed limitation based on your perception at that moment, based on what you see, thinking about what you do in your business or what you do on your job. Are your activities relevant for the now and for the to come? Or are you seeing things solely based on what you've seen or done in the past? Everyone, I want you to check your lenses and I want you to be sure you pack them in your suitcase. Let's go to the next slide. Have you ever left on a trip and realized that you did not pack your phone charger? I have. And after I took a moment, because I probably freaked out. I panicked because like, oh my God, I left my charger. After I took a moment to process it all, I found myself on the search for a solution. I was, if I was on the road, I was stopping at the next travel center to see if they had a charger. Or if I was at the airport, I'm going to the convenience store, whatever they have in there. Do you have a charger? Why? Why would I do that? Because staying connected is important. And as you observe your surroundings, you must ask yourself the question, who am I connected to? Humans, we're built to connect. And when we connect with one another, we literally have what you call this energy exchange with each other. There's power in connection, power in relationship. And let me put a little note here. A healthy relationship, not just any relationship, a healthy, balanced relationship, one where there is mutual benefit and support, the right relationship. The right connections can inspire change. It can build trust. It can open doors of opportunity. It can accelerate your growth personally and professionally. And when I talk about growth, I'm not just talking about the growth of your network or your client base. All of those things are good, but that also includes growth and mindset, like seeking out a mentor or coach who has been where you want to go and they're willing to share with you a lot of their experience so you don't have to go down the same road or make some of the mistakes that they made. So observe your surroundings closely, check the climate, check your lenses, and make sure that you're able to make the right connections and pack your suitcase appropriately for the journey ahead. Let's move on because I want to be respectful of time and make sure that we get to all of the fun stuff. So, my friend, my colleague, my future LinkedIn connection, I want you to go and I want you to be great. So, when you hear me say go and be great, what feeling does that evoke in you? What do you infer from that short statement? I want you to take a moment. I want you to type it in the thread. Go and be great. What feeling does that evoke? Go forth and conquer. I like that, David. Accomplish this. Just do it. We'd owe Nike some money on that one. Don't be stagnant. Account. This is amazing. This is amazing. Absolutely. What it evokes in me, what I infer from it, is progression, growth. And that's the last essential on our packing list. It's a measuring tape. Let's go to the next slide. The many decisions that we make not only affect us, but those around us. I said that earlier. And I encourage you today to be the model of what you want to see, to be the change agent. You know, do you want to see more integrity? You need to be the model of integrity. You need to let your actions not only speak louder than your words, you need to be sure that your actions don't negate your words either. That's really important. Whatever it is that you're wanting to see, you need to be the change. You need to be the model of what that is, and not just one time. It needs to be consistent. You know, the thing that I will the thing that I can truly say about who I am authentically, Dion, is that I am Dion consistently. You don't have to worry what version of Dion you're going to get that day. You're pretty much going to get the same Dion. I just might be a little hyped up on coffee or not. It's one of the two. But I am intentional about being the model of the things that I want to see around me. It's really, really important. Let's go to the next slide. Next, you want to be intentional, and intentional about what exactly. And what I really want to say here is you need to be intentional about everything. But I want to focus on growth and professional development. So no matter where you are in the journey, what I'm sharing can apply to, like, again, wherever you are in the journey. If you need to launch, in regards to your career, if you need to launch when it comes to your personal life, this is something that just you can apply it across the board. But we're talking about growth and professional development. So no matter where you are on the journey, we should strive to be better versions of ourselves than on the previous day. And each and every day, we should be intentional about learning something new, intentional about operating in our strengths. I said that before. Intentional about honing in on a new skill, because each and every day is a gift. It is full of new mercy, new grace, new opportunities. So don't take your days for granted. Let's go to the next slide. We're getting close because we're getting ready to do it to do some fun stuff. Lastly, be impactful. Where? Everywhere. With who? Everyone. Everyone that's around you, those that work with you. What are you doing to help others grow and develop. You know, I know that a great deal of this experience that we've had together so far has been on self and self reflection, but that's just the beginning. The journey is not just about you. Be impactful in the world. Leave your stamp. Be open, reach out, and be willing to share your experience with others. Motivate and inspire others. Give to others. Serve others. I believe that if you want to reach the highest level of awareness, fulfillment, and impact, you must first know what a gift you are. And you must be the model. You must be intentional and you must leave a legacy. So, how many of you want to make that kind of impact? Let me know. How many of you want to make that kind of impact? So, why do we need this measuring tape? I really haven't talked about that as much as I want to. Why do we need this measuring tape? Because you must acknowledge your progression. You must take the time to measure your forward movement. And whether you took a baby step or a giant leap forward, you must give yourself credit for the progression you have made. Whether it is an inch or whether it is a mile, it is to be measured, it is to be acknowledged, and it should be celebrated. So don't forget to pack that measuring tape in your suitcase. Go to the next slide. So go and be great. I wanted to tell you a quick story about this picture because I didn't just this is something intentional. This brick here is a brick that is found on the campus of the University of Incarnate Word. It is on what we call the Cardinal Walk of Fame, and we had an opportunity to put a message on a brick if we gave towards our annual employee fundraiser. And as I was thinking, I was like, well, I'm an alum. I could just put, Dion class of, '01 or '03 or whatever I wanted to put on there. But I said, but people will be walking by my brick. What could I say to them in a very short, how could I motivate them in a way that they may not forget? Like it would propel them forward. What could I say? And I came up with this. It was go and be great. That was my intention. I wanted to leave a message behind that would encourage a person no matter where they were in their journey. I wish I could tell you the exact location is under a tree across from like a parallel from the library. But if you're ever on the campus, look for my brick because again, it's there to inspire you and anybody else that is going to look at this brick. So we're going to go to the next slide because we've arrived at the fun point, and I think I'm good on time. Correct? Um, I want to know, what would you write on your brick if you were given the opportunity? You know, we're going to work in breakout groups. We'll have a few minutes to talk to each other about this. I want you to share what you would write on your brick, and we're going to come back and we'll talk about a few of these. I want to know what you would say on your break. All I need you to do is accept the invitation to go to the breakout room and we'll come back. Don't leave. Don't log off if you don't have to.
And those of you that are left in the large room, did you guys not see your invitation? You can unmute and just tell me. Okay. All right, if any of you need help, well, just let me know. Unmute yourself and ask for help. John, we've got about 21 seconds before everybody gets back. Still have people talking. This was a great activity.
That means they're still having a good time. That's always a good
Oh,
sign.
it's all right. It kicked them all back. So
Well, it's hard not to start talking about other things because it got so interesting. So,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah.
Kathy, you and I've had that experience, and I think we had to be forced back into our group too. So I, I totally understand. So welcome back, everybody. And as people are still trickling in, I don't know. I still hear my mom talking in another room. So she might have stayed in a break room all by herself. But welcome back. This is what I want you to do, because again, I want to make sure that we leave some time at the end. I want you to put in the thread what you would put on your brick. What's the message you would put on your brick? I want you to read these as they come through. These are amazing. Wow, without purpose, there is no vision. Why not you? Wow. That's awesome. You know, whether you're given the opportunity to really do a real break like I did, or we talk about again, we're talking about just making a stamp on, you know, the world, you know, our own personal stamp. We have one, and we have the ability to be as impactful as we want to be. And so, you know, as I'm concluding, again, I just want to remind you that life is a journey, and no matter where you are in the journey, the decisions we make along the way not only impact us, but those around us. And so today, it is my hope that you were inspired to check the contents of your suitcase. You know, as we discovered that packing the right things can help us reach our destinations in life and in our careers. And I hope that you had an aha moment, you know, and you know, as I saw your comments come through, I feel like that happened for some of you today. And as I close, I want to leave you with a little something. It is my own rendition. It is my own way of leaving an impact to impact you today. And there are these words right here. You may not know it, but these are the moments that you're gonna remember most. Yeah, you gotta keep going. You, you've gotta be strong and just keep pushing on. Yeah, it's not about how fast you get there, not about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. So keep moving, keep climbing, keep the faith, keep the faith. Because it's all about the climb. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to turn it back over to Barbara to close us out. Thank you for your time. I really enjoyed you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Barbara, you may need to unmute yourself.
Okay. Do this again. For Dion. I don't know about the rest of you, but I have Kleenex all over the place because I'm crying. And Dion, thank you from the bottom of my heart, from and more, for being a part of our new year, 2021, and bringing your entire family along this journey. I know that everyone's going to connect with you on LinkedIn. And remember, we are going, since we have been recording this, we are going to give this to you as a gift to you to keep the gift keep going. And I want you to remember Brandy Coleman. Say hi, Brandy. She's the CEO of the Lemonade Circle. And we would ask you to help her with her big wish of 25 chapters of the Lemonade Circle by 2025. And thank you again for being a part of our world. We want you to help us know how we're doing so that we can be better. So we're going to take the poll and do a quick poll. And as we're looking at the poll, it's not coming up, Linda. So yeah, it's not coming up. So it's not working for me. So we're going to keep going, Linda. And what we want you to know is that we have some other programs coming up. The next one is in February on demystifying coaching. March 16th will be on career development management for leaders. I have an opportunity to be a special guest on Jim Eskin's philanthropy show on March 17th. So watch for that. And I also want you to know that you're all invited to our executive leadership forum, which will be on March 4th. Stay tuned to hear more about what's going on there. So as we close out, I'm so thrilled to tell you that in 2021, we are celebrating and honoring 25 different nonprofits, and we have launched our new Power Amp coaching solution, and that brings in emerging leaders, high potentials, and employee resource groups. It's giving coaching and providing coaching to people who normally do not get it because we're usually at the executive coaching level. I'm so excited about providing our core group of coaches to companies and to helping more leaders grow faster, just like what Deanna has shared with us. I loved what you said, Deanna, about having one-on-ones with yourself. So thank you again, and we appreciate you, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.